Okay, in my last video, I was doing a little review on genericode software. This is an old machine from 1988, and this is in my new computer. Well, not new, but this one's last updated in 2016. My software in my van is 2017, and my last video I discussed how the old software had all this old information that the new software doesn't have, and and stuff we need to know, especially when we're working on older vehicles. And I mentioned I'd call Frame Manufacturing in Alpena, Michigan, and I did. I called them today, and I spoke to Phil. I think he's one of the owners of Frame Manufacturing, or the owner, and he expressed some interest in what I had to say, which was very appealing. Hopefully, he follows through. He said that they normally only go back about 25 years, and I explained to him how we do these old vintage cars and old vintage stuff, and this is information we need to still have, especially because when we originally bought the software, it had it in it, and then we were supposed to get updates to update our software, not erase information we already paid for. So like I was discussing a vehicle that I did. Let me sorry about it wiggling here, my monitor, but let's go here, vehicle search number 2. Okay, and I was doing Corvette on the last one, so we'll stick with that. Chevrolet Corvette, and we'll do we'll say 1977. This is last updated 2000, and it goes back to 1977. Okay, and this is the information it gives you. So the door code series, the ignition code series, vehicle opening instructions, and transponder service. Well, there's no transponder, so we'll go down here to vehicle opening instructions, and then it gives you options at the bottom. You got door, linkage, tool, reset end. So this for kicks, we'll hit door, and there's a picture of the door. It tells us which way to code locations on the ignition, turn the lock counterclockwise to pick it. So this is great information that's not in the other computer. We could go to linkage, which is 2. Now this is old DOS software, but it shows you what the linkage looks like, what you're grabbing, and then also there's the tool. That's F3, and it shows you the tool if you want to make it or measure up one of your tools to open the door. It tells you how to do it step by step. So if you get one of these old Corvettes or any old car, it was in the old software. Then they send you a letter, framing in the mail. Hey, you got to get your updates for this year. It's $150. Well, you do that for the last 20 years, and you update your software every year. But what you don't know is every time you update it, you're losing information from the previous software. So, like on this goes back to 77. Now, this is the newer software, not the brand new software. But we go to vehicles, and we're going to do the same thing. We'll do Chevrolet, and then we're going to go to gotta go to Corvette. Okay, so 2016, this was last updated, and this goes to 1993. Okay, so let's click the last year, 1993. And the same thing, it gives you all the information, transponder, VIN numbers. Okay, so we're going to go opening information, so we're on the same thing. The graphics haven't changed. Picking directions, it's unknown on this car which direction to pick it. Code locations on the ignition. We'll look at tool. There's the tool to open it. Let's see the tool to open. So that tool, we're looking at 5 inches by 18 inches with an L and shaped like that. And then on the older Corvettes, it was 2 inches from 20 to 25 inches long, the tool. So a totally different tool to open it. Okay, so this is 2000, or this is 1993. Now that's totally a car that you would open right now. Now when I go on my new software, on my locksmith van, which is 2018 software, it only goes back to 1995. So if I'm on a job in 1995, and let's say I get a Corvette that's a 1993 that I have to open, it's not in my new software. It's in my old software that's on, or my really old software. It's in either one. So if we go to, let's take a look at, just for kicks, let's pull up a 1993 Corvette. Let's hit reset, which is 4. And then we're going to hit enter. We'll hit vehicle, which is 2. And then we're go to Chevrolet, Corvette. Now this information should be the exact same. 1993. Okay. Now we're going to go to vehicle opening instructions. And we'll go to F1 for door. Okay. And let's go to tools since I have the tool up. F3. Okay. So 18 inches by 5 inches. 18 inches by 5 inches shows the exact same tool. That's approximate shape. And it gives you the information on opening the door. Now here it says code locations. Now this is interesting. Code locations on ignition. Okay. Then it says pick passenger door lock clockwise. Okay, so this is a 2003 on the old software. This is a 2003 on the new software. Picking directions unknown. Why wouldn't they not transfer that? This is information that we need to know. This is a Corvette 1993, and that is the new software. And this is a Corvette, a 1993 Corvette on the super old software, but it has 1993 in it. And it's telling us more information on this old software. Than it's telling on the new software. So you're losing a lot of this old information. And I think I'm just on the edge of the iceberg with this. I think this is just the edge of the iceberg because there's other stuff I found in here that's not in the old software. And I don't know about any other software manufacturers. This is the one I've used for years, so I'm very familiar with it. And I do a lot of car work. So I use this software all the time. Okay, so let's go back here. We'll stake on the same car, so we're comparing apples to apples. Okay, so the door, let's go in we did the tool. Let's look at the linkage, which is F2. Okay, so that's the linkage it shows. It still says which direction to do it. Okay, so now let's look at the linkage on here. Okay, so it's showing the exact same linkage. And it also gives you the instructions. Still says picking direction unknown. Right there. And code location on ignition. So we're losing a lot of the information that was in the old software. So, and maybe this is just a fluke. Let's say I just got lucky and we picked a Corvette. So let's go to, I did an old Buick Skylark the other day. So let's look at that. I don't know if it's in there or not, but let's see. We're going to go to Buick. Let's go to Skylark. Let's see what years this goes back to. Now look at that. On this one, it goes back to 74. But the reason why is because they don't make this car anymore. So they're given the whole, but it seems like if they still manufacture the car, they only go back so far. So let's go down here to Buick Skylark 1974. Okay, and we're going to go to opening information. Okay, so here it says picking direction unknown, code location, no codes. Okay, so let's go to Buick Skylark on here, 1974. So we're going to hit reset, which is F4, and we're going to hit enter, and we're going to hit vehicle, And we're going to go to Buick. And we'll go to Skylark. And we're going to go to 1974. See, now it has all the same years in for this year, so that's great. I'm happy with that. And we're going to go down to Vehicle Opening Information. Okay, and we're going to hit F1 for the door. Okay. So here, pick passenger door lock clockwise. Okay, so now it's telling us which way to pick the lock. This is huge because if you pick it the wrong way, you got try to use a plug spinner. You might get it, you might not, or then you got to repick it the other direction. Especially on these old GM products, they use a sidebar. They're very difficult to pick. So once you pick it, you don't want to have to unpick it and then repick it again. So this information is great to know. And no codes on cars. So that information is the same on here. Go back to here. Picking direction unknown, no codes on car. Let's just go real quick. Go to the tool. There's the tool. And on here, we'll go to tool. Okay. So it's the same tool. Okay, well, let's hope Freeman manufacturer calls me back. He's Phil at Freeman said he would call me back, and he's going to talk to the programmer and see if they can compile this information into the newer version of software. Hopefully they can, and we'll get this straightened out. Especially for all the 300 locksmiths that watch my channel, this would be nice for them to figure it out. Anyways, I really appreciate Freeman for actually even talking to me on this issue, and they were very polite, and I think they're going to work on it. Anyway, signing off.